tonight, I'm being joined by one of those who are concerned about the welfare and the legal representation of some of these suspects. I'm being joined by Ms. Funke Adeoye, who is a human rights defender, social innovator, and young global leader. She's the founder and the executive director of Hope Behind Bars. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You've been working with the likes of Mr. Femi Falana, Dejare and Ju Chambers to fight for these children. But there seems to be some kind of communication problem here. The lawyers to the federal government in that matter, the lawyer to the state rather, said today that a lot of them are not minors. That some of them that we've seen in court today were just, they came with their parents and their adults. Is that true?
No. We were in court today observing proceedings. And you could clearly see children in court today. Also to say that this matter did not begin today. It began in August after the protests, when a number of people were picked up from different parts of the country, which included minors. A remand order, an ex parte order, was actually granted by Court 9 of the Federal High Court. And when you look at the remand order, the names of 75 protesters were included in that order. And out of those names, we had minors. Their ages were clearly written on the motion paper. So they were remanded ex parte for 60 days under the Anti-Terrorism Act. Now, immediately after the 60 days, we're expecting the government to charge or arraign this set of persons. But what we found out was just about 10 of the names that were in that motion paper were arraigned. And so the law firm of Femi Falana and Deji Adeoye decided to file a fundamental human rights action to ask the government to do something about the children. We're in court last week, and the situation that happened today was an aftermath of the fact that fundamental human rights action was filed to say, where are these children? Because we and a lot of other advocacy organizations knew that indeed children were being arrested. We didn't know their whereabouts. Some of us had gone to Kuje Correctional Facility only to find out that they were at the IRT. So what happened today is an aftermath of the fundamental human rights action that civil society organizations and the law firm of these human rights activists actually filed. Okay,
so today is the first appearance, is the arraignment.
Yes.
The charges were read to them.
Yes.
And they, one after the other,
yes,
they answer to their
not guilty,
yes, to the charges.
Yes.
What about the fundamental human rights action that was filed?
It's still pending in court, and we're still going to continue.
Okay,
yes.
I mean, that means it might be taking pari passu with the matter, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, now let's look at it. Out of about 75, 75 people were brought to court today.
Yes, but
were there any adults there?
There were adults. About 38 of them were minors. About 38 of them were minors.
Okay.
Yes, but there were also adults.
Out of 75,
yes,
about 38 of them were minors.
Yes.
Okay. Now, give us an understanding, because I know there is a juvenile justice system in Nigeria, which also take cognizance of the Child Rights Act of 2003, isn't it?
Yes.
And it also says the procedure for which a child under our law, a child is less than 18 years.
Yes.
That's as a minor, can be tried in Nigeria courtroom. Were those procedures breached today?
So again, I'll have to take us back to how we started, because it's not just today. It's the fact that these children have been kept in detention longer than they should be.
Unlawfully.
So they're unlawfully. So they are right to pass
by the Nigerian state.
Yes.
By the Nigerian police.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
They've been kept in different police custodies.
Yes.
Alongside, were they kept in adult prisons or children prison?
Their right to personal liberty and fair hearing under Section 35 and 36 has already been violated. Because
but the fact that they've stayed longer than necessary.
Yes. Were they kept in adult? From all our understanding, they have been at the IRT. That's the Intelligence Response Team, which is colloquially known as abattoir. So imagine keeping children in a place.
Why is it being tagged abattoir?
I guess there are several reasons for that, but there are lots of stories about the kind of things that happen there. And when you see the children that were in court today, not only would you see malnourishment, not only would you see starvation, you would see fear in their faces.
The child that fainted, I mean, I assume that was a child from some of the pictures. Unfortunately, we are not permitted by the rules guiding our profession to reveal the faces of and that's why they are blurred in a manner in which you can see, I mean, you can see on the screen right now. The fellow who fainted is a boy, isn't it?
Yes.
How old is he?
From the motion paper, we have 14-year-olds, we have 12, we have 13, we have 15. So it's actually very surprising to me to hear the prosecution say the children that were in court today came to visit their parents. Because even the police, the child that fainted, even the police had to take some of these children. It wasn't just one child. Had to take some of them out to get some form of health care today during court. Yes. So
not only that they were kept longer than necessary, they were also being, it looked, and the inference that you are giving tonight is that they were being badly treated.
Anybody that saw them in court today, anyone that saw the videos that are going around, you can see that these children are badly treated. They are malnourished. They look like they've been starved. I mean, some lawyers in court today had to crowdfund money to just quickly get food for them. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it looked today.
Now, there is an adjournment. The motion for their bail was moved today in court.
And I think we need to talk about the bail conditions as well.
Justice Egwuatu agreed to the bail conditions, isn't it?
The bail conditions are very stringent. I mean, the provision of the law is very clear on bail. Bail is not supposed to be punitive. Dogo versus the state. The law is very clear on that. Now, these children who were supposedly being tried for treason and who were actually protesting against hunger and suffering in the land were given very stringent bail conditions, 10 million naira, 2 sureties. One of them has to be a civil servant of level 15. And, you know, a family member. I think that is really stringent, considering the fact that these children are coming from, you know, different parts of the country, different parts of the north, where it's obvious that they can't even feed well. By the way, some of them, their parents have been around as well, and their parents are residing in different uncompleted buildings across the country. Yes, because their children, I mean, they don't, for a while, they never knew the whereabouts of their children.
So is the fundamental enforcement proceeding that was filed, is it based on the Child Rights Act or based on the allegation?
It's based on the Constitution. The Constitution says everyone has a right to fair hearing, Section 36. Everyone has a right to personal liberty, Section 35. But these children have been kept in custody. I mean, an ex parte order was granted, like I mentioned earlier, for 60 days. But after the 60 days, they were not charged. They were not arraigned.
It's also the duty of the state to cater for a child.
Absolutely.
The reason why I'm asking is that, yes, you can file a fundamental enforcement suit in that regard of enforcement of the right of any citizen, which can be an adult or a child. But again, the perspective to this is the fact that any child that is found in this kind of manner the state is responsible for every child under the Child Rights Act. It's a failure of the state in the first place to find a child roaming the street on not in classroom and all that, and that's why I'm putting the perspective whether or not that is also included in the angle into the right of enforcement.
Absolutely.
Now, what is the next line of action now? It doesn't look like most of them can be able to meet those main conditions.
Yes. Even as I speak to you now, there are questions as to where they are going to be remanded, because they cannot be remanded at Kuje Custodial Center because adults are the ones who should be there. So as I speak to you, they are taking them back to IRT. Is
there a juvenile center in
Kuje? No, Kuje
in Abuja?
None that I know of. Yes, I mean, the court has remanded them to Gwagalada. There's a Bosta home. The Bosta home, I know, the closest Bosta home I know of is in Kaduna. I think that also brings to bear questions around our correctional system. The fact that we actually do need Bosta homes across the country, because Kuje Custodial Center has rejected the children now because there's fear of, you know, anything could happen, and they don't even have the mandate to hold children. Now they are going back to IRT. And there's also the question of the matter has been adjourned to January. If the children don't meet their bail conditions between now and January, where would they be? How would they be treated?
Well, I do not think that there is anyone who has a child, any parent in this country should go to bed tonight feeling all right that children, about 40 of them, are going to be kept in prison and are probably not going to be in their bail condition. This is a shame to our nation. Yes, I dare say. We need to look inwards and see. We need to feel our humanity. No matter what the offense is tonight, any of the child that is being kept in that prison today is a question on our humanity as a people. Over 200 million of us in this country, we need to be checking ourselves about our humanity and what power or the rights that we're giving to every child. And those of them who are facing trial today. Thank you so much, Funke Adewale, for joining us, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.